Divorce has hit the highest in Nigeria in the last 10 years. I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Poverty. Poverty. That is the only reason. Let me tell you something. Many Nigerian guys want to, when I say guys, I mean ladies and men. You understand? Nothing destroys the home like poverty. Nothing, no. It is not infidelity. What is infidelity? Your husband is sleeping with another woman. Yeah? If the husband that you have is saying, hey, ITO, come for the children every month. I know we already pay their school fees. So for the children, take 100,000, take 50,000. For the grocery shopping, take 50,000. For you may want to have something, take 200,000, take 100,000. You think we want to leave that kind of man? Or for a wife, oh, Osby, this is what I made from my sales this month. I made 300,000 extra. Oh, husband, my salary is 300. You guys already have 600,000. You are not taking drug now. What you want to do? You will build any kind of house you want in Nigeria. 10 million will roof your house, put block. Back then. Now they say a bag of cement is 4,800. What? How much is a block of cement? How much is a block? 2,000 blocks. 2,000 blocks. Let's say 2,000 blocks is about maybe 2 million. Let's say each block is 1,000. Okay, 2 million. You put it there. Roofing sheet, zinc. Put another 3 million on that. Fixing and put 3 million. You have your house. 10 million. That is less than today's. That's less than today's $15,000. $15,000 only stay on my credit card. You cannot buy me a car. But in Nigeria, that's why we want to live in Nigeria. That's exactly why we want to live in Nigeria. You think we want to live in the US? Ask any sincere American Nigerian living there. Tell him if your country Nigeria was like America, would you live in the US? Doing what? Doing what? So that people come to Facebook and say, hey, I'm sorry, we've been separated for the last 2 years, and we just think we don't want to keep the families and friends in the dark. So we've decided to come out and say the marriage we couldn't make it work. So don't abuse my wife, she was a good woman. Don't abuse my husband, he tried all he could. But we just figured out we were not meant to be for each other. But when you were saying nonsense as should be, you're foolish as should be, you were meant to be together. It is poverty. It is not pride. If you are doing well, you don't want to leave your wife. If you are doing well, you don't want to leave your husband. If you guys are both doing fine, you can afford whatever you want. You don't want to leave. It is poverty. It is lack. It is what the government has placed on you that brought poverty. And that's why that is why they are divorcing every day. Every day you go to court in Abuja and Lagos, you see people filing for divorce. Then it will now have a bounce back effect on the children. Because the two parents did not say the truth that, hey, go ahead and look at those of them separating and divorcing. They were making good life. And suddenly things didn't work. Then they think that the best way out is to separate. Then they start fighting. Instead of sitting together and say, how can we make this work? But how would they even make it work? Because, man, when poverty hits your head, it hits differently. You cannot think positive. That's why people start thinking about the depression. I am depressed. 50 Cent said, depression is a luxury. Depression is a luxury. You have to create time for depression to come into your heart. It doesn't just swing. You have to start thinking about what depresses you. You have to start thinking about what... But if you have to work, Nigerians cannot be depressed now. That's why when I see people saying... one of them came and was trying to scam me, said he's depressed, he will end it. Allah, don't end it, please now. He doesn't know me. Me. Dangbana. I started clicking on his link while he was talking to me, and I saw that he was sending it to almost every platform. Sending it to platforms. I said, oh, how far? I stopped my conversation with him. The next one I say, hi guy. He said, do you have anything for me? I said, I don't get anything for you. You're a fool. You wanted to, but you told me now that you were going to edit about 10 hours ago. Why haven't you ended it? Depression is a luxury. Divorce, crime rate. There was a day I worked for about 10 hours. I made it home by 8 o'clock. I couldn't even eat. I went back to bed straight. I didn't wake up until 6 o'clock the next morning. And I had to jump into the bedroom and run out again. Because I have to make it to work at 8 o'clock. I have to drive about an hour to Plano in the traffic. So where do I have time to start thinking about Yahoo or kidnapping? Because Otiremigo, I was tired already. When you cannot, and all this is an effect of governance. All this, when you cannot prioritize what the nation needs. The nation needs to fix railway. The government went there to take money to build railways, and we, Nigerians, started stealing the metals. We started stealing the iron bars used. And some of these guys doing it are our brothers, they are our husbands, they are our younger ones, they are our friends. And we know this is what they are doing. And that's what they do for a living. And yet these are people that will come out and say the government is not good. Have you been good? Are you good? On the part of the government, Nigerian government is not accountable to anyone. Even what they call separation of power doesn't work in Nigeria. Doesn't work in Nigeria. Everybody does what he wants to do. Why? You cannot be better than the quality of your leadership. You can't be better than you can't be better than that. That is just it. If you try to get better, they will frustrate you. If you try to be, you cannot even be better than that. Oh, and people like me, you think I'm the enemy. You think I'm your enemy. I'm not. I'm your best friend. I'm your brother. I like you. That's why I'm saying all these things. I always want to come to Nigeria, but I don't have anything to come. I don't have any reason to come to Nigeria. Somebody met me and said, oh, where are you from? I said, I'm Nigerian. He said, you shouldn't be here. I was working as a security guard, a doctoral student. I was working as a security guard at the Fair Park. So you shouldn't be here. I have not seen a South African in Nigeria doing nonsense job. I have not seen an American in Nigeria doing nonsense job. Even when they bring the worst of them, even when they bring the worst of Americans to Nigeria, I look at, sometimes I get to the airport, I look at it, we can tell ourselves, we can tell you, when we see, I can tell you that this is a polished homeless woman. I can tell you. I've been here long enough to know. When some of them come to Nigeria and they want to start doing Ogarayan, start doing big boy, big girl in Nigeria, I look at them like that, I just laugh and leave. Because I don't want to embarrass whoever brought them. And you start celebrating. Oh, your brother is doing this, your brother is doing that, your uncle is doing this, your uncle is doing that. Lie. If you want to meet rich white Americans don't marry any other person. The rich marry the rich. The poor marry the poor. The poor masses. The Billy. We want to look at how we can fix this nation. It's going to be a process. It's not something to be, it's not going to be like the Big Bang theory or something. It's going to be a process. But how do we commence the process? With discussions like this. Having discussions like this. That's the best way. Each person believing that, okay, this is what I have to do. I have a role to play in building, because there is nothing called Nigeria. Nigeria only exists on newspaper and textbooks. There's nothing called Nigeria. We are more of Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, and Yoruba. And until we get to that point where we say, okay, I'm a Nigerian, you must be a Nigerian, absolute Nigerian. Not the Nigerian that when it comes to take necessary decisions, you with no other reason, you stick with your race, with your ethnic group. That is why we are where we are. That is why we are where we are. I am confident to say that. That if we try that again in 2023, remember what I said. Remember what I said. Nigerians will go out to vote for the worst of them. The only big nation on earth where the most idiotic take decisions for the smart ones. Because why? Because your pastor, your chief imam is a good guy. But he will never go into politics. And when his children want to get into politics, say no. So we leave politics for the children of those who were not properly trained. Let me tell you something. Their fathers will become president. Their children will become president. Their grandchildren will become president. And Nigeria will continue to exist like we are existing. I know you feel bad with what I'm saying. Me, I don't fear you. As I say or not, baby. It is my country. It's our country that I'm talking about. People don't even like my face. I don't like their faces too. I don't like their faces too. You don't like me. I don't like you. One thing I know is that you cannot meet me on the road and start beating me without me doing anything wrong. So, and you know, offer loan. I'm giving it offer free of charge. Because it was given to me free. I'm giving it to you free. You look at the worst. Some of them cannot even say what is economics. They don't even know what market structure is. They don't even know what politics is all about. Omawane just say, because it is our turn, our local. Our local. Tinubu said our local. We caused him out. We started making jest of him. A Yoruba man. And Mami Titi Atiku came out and said because since 1999, táwọn ológun ti gbàjọba, táwọn alágbára ti gbàjọba, no Yoruba woman has been a first. What does that have to do with developing this country? How does that bother me? How does that concern non-payment of salary? If it's an Oyibo man that can pay structure Nigeria, let him come and do it now. As long as that's the Nigerian blood. That is another form. I said that is another form of our local. Is it so difficult for some of these people to think? Why is it so hard for some of them to think? Tinubu came out and said in Milocom, the whole country bashed him. Then you said because a Yoruba woman has never been a first lady. What part of constitution states that an Igbo man, a Yoruba woman, and a Hausa woman must be the first lady of the country? What effect would that have on the seriousness of governance than another confusion, nonsense things all about? So we must vote for Atiku because the wife is a Yoruba woman. And Atiku will be saying in the north that, oh, he's a Fulani man, so Fulani must vote for him. Just like our uncle Baba Jagaban is saying that he's a Yoruba man and Yoruba is Yoruba's turn. Whose turn? It's the turn of whoever that will fix our country. It's the turn of whoever that will fix. It's the turn of Nigeria. But Nigerians don't even like themselves. This one that I'm talking about, this one that I'm talking with all my two-sided man, try me with power if I may end up being worse than most of these people. Most of us who feel bad about government today. Try us with offices. Try us to lead a group of 10 people. Try us with local government councillorship. You will see that we decide that some of us are even worse than the ones we condemn. Election is fast coming. It's a very, very good point of rewriting the last 10 years. A bag of rice is about 35,000 or 38,000. People will buy it. But those who cannot buy will not buy it. And unfortunately, everything is so difficult right now that people cannot even help people. People cannot even help people. You see girls sending you pictures of breast for 3,000. Please, I have a, I don't know what they call it, private, is it private consultation or what? I was even thinking, who are these therapists? What are they consulting for? They will give you the prices, 3,000, 20 million. Hey, I want to 3,000 just to view. Can one for kusheni mortuary? But they have to survive on something, and that's what they can survive on. They have to survive on, they have to live on something.